Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Team Freedom Zoom. I'm Ron,
And I'm Allie.
and we love to gather together every week with you. Actually, we didn't really send out any reminders for very few this week just to see who's going to show up without them. We did that last week. We had about this number. I think we ended up with 9 last week. And we do want it to where it's just on your calendar and you're ready to go. And then if each team leader will remind their people each week, we begin to, because we're kind of growing to the point where we're like, we want to start dividing up what we're doing, have each team leader reminding their people about it. But we will also keep reminding people, you know how we are, we're out there.
And good job on them posting more in the group. So let's give them a shout out.
About that, the challenge in the group. We put up a challenge that was a 10-day challenge. And the challenge was who's going to post the most, and commenting and this kind of thing is a part of it really too. But because we want that group to be active and vibrant and alive. And a lot of times it's easy just to kind of scroll by and go, oh, that's cool, and not react on it or not comment. But it actually has an effect, it has a couple of effects. On Facebook itself, they stop pushing out the post to anybody if no one's reacting on it or no one's commenting. The love reaction and the hug reaction or care and even wow, those are the strongest ones. You never want, even if there's a bad story going on, you never want to put the cry face, because the cry face and the angry face means you don't like it. And if you're giving a thumbs down to Facebook. So it would actually hurt someone's post if you put the crying face or the angry face on it. Like just means, oh, okay, check mark, I saw it. I don't really care, but I saw it. That is the way Facebook algorithm actually works on that. But the most important thing is everyone else in the group, as well as new prospects. As you have a prospect that wants to take a look at Isagenix and they haven't started, but they want to know what it's about, and they go in there and they don't see you posting, then they're like, well, if you're so much about this, why aren't you posting? So that's why we're having this contest. And at the end of the contest, you're actually going to get something I believe is really valuable. Should have had a shaker cup in here.
Yes.
But the shaker cups themselves.
You have one there, so you can show the cup at least. You're going to get one of these.
You get the cup, but it's stuffed full of product. And I mean, just to get the e-shot is worth it. Because I love those energy shots.
Yeah, you get a shake.
And you get a shake pouch in there.
E-shot.
Yeah, and you get
a hydrate and a bar, and then the shaker cup. So
there's a lot in there. And
love the bars. The bars are awesome.
Aren't they? They are so good. And they're a complete meal. They are a complete meal. So that group challenge, get in there and post. There's so many things you can post. You can post your own results or how you're feeling on product. You can post inspiration for others. You can post something about sharing or the business, and you can post about products. So there's so many things to post about.
And it's a safe space. It's a private group. So don't feel like somebody you know is going to see you in there. It is private. Don't feel like something is, stupid or whatever.
They can't see it.
So just whatever's on your mind, feel free to post. And we love all of it. I love seeing your food and just different things. Heather showed her legs, and Ingrid had her skin. So a lot of you are pinned. Florence, I think, had a testimonial, and Kathy put in about the adaptogens. So you guys are doing a great job. And the other thing too, along with new people seeing your posting, is also they're going to see that we have an interactive, vibrant group of people as well. So that just helps. And the third and the last thing is, then when we do post something like, hey, team call on Monday, everybody sees it. And we're kind of all in that little routine of knowing the scoop of what's going on by going to that group. And it will just make things so much more streamlined for everyone. That's kind of our information group, and they know where to go to get the scoop. So
we like to start out many times talking about product. And we have so many different products, and there's so many good ones. And it's kind of like, what do I choose to do this month? There's so many good things. But we have one that has joined our company not that long ago. And we are just now beginning to really study it and learn and find out what it really is all about. And that is Zango. It starts with an X, but the X is pronounced with a Z.
And here's the bottle. They have them in, the other one's white
That
bottles.
one's a white bottle. This one's the reserve.
This is the reserve. It's a stronger.
But the Zango is made from the mangosteen fruit. And the mangosteen fruit in the rind of it has xanthones in it. That's where Zango comes from, xanthones.
Yeah, that first little part, the ZAN comes from xanthones.
And they actually call it Zango from what I'm getting, because you could not get the fruit over here because it would spoil before it got here from Southeast Asia. But if they made it into a juice, they could get it here. So they made the Zango to go. Zango. And they've got it over here now. It is so powerful. I'll let you talk because you really, really have jumped into this. And then we're going to show two
Funny.
actually really old clips, news clips, where it was starting to make the news so much that the government was starting to come down on the Zango company because
Mhm.
it was healing people too much. if you can
Yes, it was
believe
getting
that.
too much attention. So these are really old clips. So kind of the story is, remember when we had our event on the 18th and we had our guest, Dwayne Dyer, came to speak and he brought some of the Zango. And after he brought that, I thought he was so passionate about it, talking to him, I'm going to do a little deep dive and just start like, what is this mangosteen all about? Because these people are so passionate about it. And that's where I found the two clips. But they said, and I felt like this was the most powerful thing in the rind of it, the xanthones that Ron's talking about. How many did they say they found? Over 40 of
Over
them?
40 different ones.
And it is this, it's in similar potency to a chemotherapy drug, but it's not a drug. You don't have the side effects. So that's what the xanthones do in the body, is they basically fight up any kind of cancer. And we can say this here. I won't be saying this on a Facebook Live or
We don't want the same thing to happen
Right.
to us, have the government.
I'm just sharing it with you guys. You can share it with people one-on-one like this, you know, things that you found. There's a lot of research on it as far as what the xanthones have done for disease, arthritis, blood sugars. The list is amazing. But if you know anyone that, knows there's a lot of cancer in their family or has kind of precancerous or is dealing with it, you don't want to say, oh, this is going to heal you, but man, what a great thing to arm your body with to be as healthy as it can. So Ron's going to pop these clips up because they're really fun to watch about this mangosteen juice.
All right, here's one. I could make it bigger, but I think we'll just leave it that way.
We all want to feel and look younger, but it comes at a cost. Working out, eating healthier, taking supplements, it's exhausting. What if I told you some people swear by this juice? It is the latest trend sweeping Naples. In tonight's Fox 4 Your Health report, Kathy Sines shows why some say the juice contains the fountain of youth. This North Naples home is the scene of a party. But instead of people taking shots of Cuervo or Absolute, Zango is the drink of choice. The all-natural fruit juice comes from the mangosteen, a fruit that comes from Southeast Asia. This is what a mangosteen looks like. This is a replica, but you won't see this fruit at your local grocery store. That's because you can't import the fruit. Zango has found a way to make it into a juice form, and that's how folks are enjoying this fruit in the United States.
I want to thank everybody for coming.
Jerry Sierra throws Zango parties here in Naples. It's a way for people to learn about a juice he tells me can help them feel younger.
I got introduced to this juice, very skeptic. I just thought another little Tupperware party.
But the party turned Maria Santos into a believer. She didn't think anything could help her arthritis.
I developed arthritis, and I used to be very athletic. And when that came in, it kind of made me sad.
Until Zango put a smile on her face
I
again.
did it for 3 days in a row and I was just amazed that this juice took my pain away.
A juice that can take someone's pain away. Sounds too good to be true, right? Zango distributor Greg Adair says the not-so-secret ingredient is in the mangosteen's rind.
The rind of the fruit contains a xanthone, a chemical compound, and spelled Xanthone.
I did some research and found several studies from schools of pharmacy and schools of medicine around the world praising the mangosteen for its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Most of us know about the antioxidant benefits of vitamin C and E, but fewer of us are aware of the potent antioxidant powers of xanthones. Over 40 xanthones have been discovered in the mangosteen. I learned for centuries this fruit has been used in Asia as a primary source of medicinal healing.
Get sick, you go to the doctor, get a prescription. In those parts of the world, they eat a lot better than we do. And so they're used to taking things to solve their problems. Fruits and vegetables.
But just how much mangosteen is in Zango remains a mystery. That's because the patented formula is a secret.
They added a few fruit juices to it because the rind of the fruit is where all the benefits are. It's very bitter. So if we just pureed the fruit, you probably wouldn't drink it.
Mark Bowman drinks it, and he says he gladly pays $40 a bottle.
You think about all the things that are out there and the things that we spend money on as far as just in regular.
All right, that's
just ends
that.
Tonight's Health Watch, April, is Limb Loss Awareness Month.
Yeah, and you're about to meet an Adams County teenager who nearly lost his arm in a
Not it.
2020
That's
accident
something
that took the life of his father.
Sorry.
He shared his inspiring story with
Oh,
Lydia Young,
yeah.
who covers
It's
on.
back here
You want to
behind
stop?
this.
There you go.
go.
One more thing goes. So loud.
Wednesday morning, Tennessee Valley. I'm Kim Richardson with your 19th checkup. Roy Sandridge suffers from Crohn's disease. For 30 years, he's been in pain and on more than 30 different medications a day. But today, his life is totally different.
I'm totally pain-free as well as pill-free. For the first time in 30 years, they couldn't find any polyps, they didn't find any tumors, they didn't find any ulcers. I'm squeaky clean.
Roy says his dramatic change happened in just 3 months with help from a fruit in a bottle. 3 months ago, a friend told Roy about mangosteen, a fruit only grown in Southeast Asia. It's known in the Eastern world for its healing power.
We've had people that have had severe arthritic pain for years. After a few days, a week, or 2 weeks on the juice, are totally pain-free. We've had people with diabetics that have been at blood sugar has been as high as 0.500 milligram% down to almost normal in 4 or 5 days. In the clinical studies, when it was used, it showed it had the potency of some of the marketed chemotherapeutic drugs today.
The secret of the fruit is phytochemicals called xanthones, which are powerful antioxidants. But to get the full benefits, the fruit has to be ripe before it can be picked. That's why it can't be shipped here to the U.S. It would spoil. And it can't be grown here in this country because of our soil. But some researchers have found a way to get it here in a juice form called Zango. Bob Fulford is a pharmacist. He says he has seen the benefits of mangosteen's healing power, so he encourages all his clients to drink the juice.
It's very exciting to find a fruit such as the mangosteen fruit that has the medicinal qualities of a drug, but is a fruit without all the side effects you get with pharmaceuticals.
Roy Sanders says just 2 ounces a day have given him more energy than he's had in decades. Docs his doctors and changed his life for good.
Last time they checked me, my blood pressure was 120/80. My cholesterol, he jumped like somebody slapped him. He said, "You don't have any cholesterol." It was 92.
Mangosteen is not the same as the mango. Some doctors are now even endorsing this fruit. To learn more about mangosteen, you can go to our website, WHCC.com, and click on health. There's your 19 seconds.
There we go. I know the quality of that. I apologize for the quality. They're really old
But
TV
what they were
clips.
saying is what's important. That is amazing what this does.
Yes.
If you've not tried it, it may be time to try it. We are, and we're loving it.
Mhm.
So Zango, and you can actually, just so you know, on 4 bottles of Zango, it is a qualifying order and it's 161 subtotal. So it's an affordable option, even compared to some other things of options that we have. So I want you to be aware of that as well.
Yes.
So we have been told something big is coming. In fact, it even said in the email, something big.
Mhm.
And we reached out to people just trying to see if anyone would share with us what
What
it
it
was.
is.
They're all saying they don't know, but we may know as early as tomorrow afternoon, late afternoon. But we don't know what it is. But they're saying that every enrollment that you make now from April 1st on, at 100 BV, of course, that's a qualifying order, is going to count. That enrollment will count towards something big that's coming later. That's coming a little bit later, maybe in May or June. And we don't know what it is, but we did notice that the background to the meme that just said something big looked like it was water, which would say to me, let's go someplace like what's behind Greg or what's behind Heather.
Right, vacation.
And it also said, you'll make, the more that you do, you're gonna make a splash.
Mhm.
So when the word splash, I would say it probably is a trip to some destination we all want to go. So, but we don't know for sure. It might not be.
My other guess was that this is about the time of year in the past. I've heard challenges that they do to earn part of like staying at the celebration in July. So we'll see. Like you
It
can
could.
earn your room, you know, so you can stay free in your room. So
And when they did that, they did it the same way where early enrollments counted. So it's
Yes.
possible it's that as well.
we don't know. It's,
We'll let you
but we'll
know.
let you know.
And guess where we'll put it? We'll put it in the group.
Team.
So make sure you go into the group to find it. Otherwise, you may not know, right?
Yes.
So, and then I would say also, we actually had the privilege of listening to one of our upline today. That was
Yes.
talking to us, talking to Heather, and we thought we should share some of what
Yes. It was
the
so
theme
good.
was, what she was talking about. And a lot of what she said was so inspiring because she said, this is simple. I'm not saying it's easy. That's different, but it's very simple. And the reason why she said it's simple is it comes down to share your story and share it from your heart. That's the best way you're going to grow this. You can say, well, I want to have these websites and I want to reach out to this. I want to build this. I want to have a whole bunch of people coming to me, like on our Facebook. And we all want that, where people come to us and say, oh, what are you guys doing?
Mhm.
But how often does that happen? Instead, when you just talk to one person at a time and tell your story, your own story, and or if you don't have a story, someone else's story. And if you don't have a story, ask us, we'll give you our stories. But tell your story and tell it one-on-one from your heart. And that is what really moves people to say, you know what, I will try it. I thought that was so good that she was saying that, share from the heart. And I would say also, listen.
Well, I think too, she had mentioned also about be yourself and don't try to be someone else. So don't, look at, Ron or I, or, how someone else on the team builds their business and think, oh, I could never do that. It's okay. You don't have to. That's the cool thing is when you watch all these leaders and see all their stories, they're very different. Some are flashy and they're up on the stage and very eloquent speaking, and some just share their stories from the heart. And either way, they have maxed out centers and they're doing very well in the business. So I really like that, how she said, I don't try to be something I'm not. I just share my story. And boy, Heather can attest that she had quite the story, didn't she, Heather? With
Oh my
just
gosh. Yes, I mean, she's been through some like big health issues, being in a wheelchair and having the tumor. I mean, it's like, it was shocking to see what she's overcome and how our products and our system have helped her in incredible ways.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, she was talking about being over 200 pounds in a wheelchair. I can't even imagine her being over 200 pounds. She's like a stick almost. She's very, very, just really the right size. And it is absolutely amazing what she's been through. And she credits her recovery to Isagenix, because they had tried everything. They would try radiation treatments, everything, and the tumor was still there. And she began to lose all this weight with Isagenix, and then the tumor just was gone. It went away.
Mhm.
So it's just really amazing.
Yes.
So we want to share with people our stories and what has happened for us, because that's where if you think about it, how could we not share stories like this with people? I mean, you
Right.
listen to what the people were saying about the Zango. When you have those kind of results, you want to tell everybody.
And I just think even if there's a very small chance of it helping, why not try? Even if it's a 1%, 5%, whatever the small chance, it's going to definitely be a no if we don't try it. So when we are sharing, even if it wouldn't work for them, at least we opened that door and gave them that opportunity to look at it. And so I know we're going to have family time.
What you just said though, before you do that, just made something, a thought cross my mind that's never crossed my mind. It's kind of interesting. You said if we never tell anyone, it's always going to be a no. And we all are afraid of no. We don't like no. We don't like people telling us no.
It feels bad.
But if you tell no one, everyone's telling you no. That's what crossed my mind. Everyone's telling you no if you don't try. And if you do try, at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or a dozen over time will say yes.
Mhm,
So don't just sit there and take no's by not telling anyone.
mhm.
Tell people. Now let's go to our family time.
And so really when we're around family and we have holidays and things like that, it's definitely not a time where we're going to say, oh, mark it to your family when you're together. Like that doesn't go over.
No.
But I just invite you to really sit and kind of listen to the people if they have any ailments that they are concerned with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we're sitting around and we're listening, I can't even be in a restaurant and you're overhearing the table next to you and they're talking about their hospital visits, their tests, their surgeries, their this, their that. It's everywhere. So just kind of have your, your listening ears up on if people are talk about struggling with, man, my sleeping and, oh no, I've hit this hormonal time and I've got this extra weight and, getting old is terrible. You know how everyone says those things all the time. Oh, getting old is terrible and just listen. And then, maybe a week or two, revisit and just say, hey, when we got together, you were talking about X, Y, and Z in your life. I know about something that's helped a lot of people. Would you want to know more? That's it. And so definitely now, if you want to have your little bottle of collagen out or something, that's fun to have at a holiday, just if you drink your collagen, whatever. But for the most part, we don't expect you to be selling to your family.
You're just listening. And later on, it gives you an opportunity. We were talking at Easter and you had said this.
Yes.
And that's where you go with it.
Yes. So anyway, that's the way you can kind of use the holiday time to just have more conversations and more ways to reach out down the road that would be relevant to what they're going on in their life. So,
and we are sounding like we're nearing an end and it's not the time completely up, but that's on purpose because we said, do we want to just throw this open and let you ask questions or talk and give some testimony or anything at all for anybody that wants to speak up? This is your time.
Can I just make a suggestion?
yes.
Sure.
Especially now with the holidays, because I agree with you, you don't want to just start talking about to your family and friends, just off the cuff. But if you haven't seen some of your family and they say, oh my gosh, what have you been up to?
Yeah, then you can.
This is a really, I think an easy way to broach the subject is oh my gosh, you have to see this. And if you just put the link on your phone, I just grab my phone, I have the link on my phone. You can either do the link, the link to the lookbook, or if it's weight loss that you're doing, there's a link on there on the Isagenix business. Link it, put it on your phone, and you don't have to say anything. You can just say, you got to take a look at this and just start flashing your phone. Look at these pictures. Oh my, this is what I'm doing. And just be excited. I find that has taken pounds off my shoulders because I never used to feel like I was trying to sell something or how could I strike up a conversation about the Isagenix. And if you're excited and people see the pictures, that's making it duplicatable too, because people will be like, oh my gosh, as if they do begin to join in, or they're like, I can do that. I can put links on my phone and show people and strike up a conversation.
Where do you store your link, Florence, in your phone? We can post that link in Team Freedom so they have But if they copied it, and do you put it in notes, or where do you put that?
Well,
in your-
mine is in my notes, but I know, and I had just watched a podcast with they just had the latest podcast on the Vision Call, and they were talking about it's all there on the Isogenics business. If you follow the PVC 123, they walk you right through, and it's right on there if you want to put it on your computer. But oftentimes we're not sitting in our office or on a Zoom or
Exactly.
shooting things. We're out and about, and it explains. I'll give you the links, but it gives you an explanation how to put it on your phone. I'm not a techie person. I never was, and I was able to, just by following what they have on the Isogenics business, I was able to just follow it and get it put and put the link on my phone.
That is
Okay, so
awesome.
maybe we'll try to at least put where the starting point, so they know where to kind of follow those directions if people want to, because I agree with you. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And I know, Heather, you've made a lot of sales on your pictures, and other people have made sales on your pictures, right? Definitely. Yeah, I think you're muted, Heather.
Yep, there we go. I do tell people they're welcome to use my pictures because I'm not worried about people seeing them, and it is a testimonial because some of the people downline can use that when they don't have their own results yet. But there's a couple things I wanted to share. And one of them is I've come to the realization that if you share with somebody you're like nervous about sharing with, really, what do you have to lose? You've got nothing to lose. And this is like a big epiphany that's hit me and said, what if you don't approach somebody and somebody else comes and approaches them, kind of like what Allie and I talked about recently. And it's like, put it out there. It may not happen, but it may, and it's awesome. The other thing I want to talk about is the upcoming July Orlando trip. I am committed now to go to that, and I am really excited about it. I've never been to an Isogenics convention, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be wonderful. I just know it. So if anyone else wants to consider it, because it'd be so cool to see this team, people on this call, to meet them and see them there. And, I think it's going to be amazing. So
The more of us that are there, the better. I mean, if we can have a dozen or more people that are just our team, what a time we have together.
Absolutely. It's so fun to be together in that live energy.
And who doesn't want an excuse to go to Florida?
It is July, so it's
summer.
We're gonna best time of year.
I don't care. I'm just going
Most of the
regardless,
time.
even if it's hot.
right, exactly. Yeah, when you live in a climate where you get more winter, it's not so bad. But when you lived in Florida, like that was not when you would want to be out doing things. But we'll be
No.
inside anyway. It'll be air conditioned. We probably are all going to wear
Actually,
sweaters.
They usually have to consider. Don't forget to bring your sweater,
Yes, yes.
light jacket.
So I don't know. Did anybody else want to share before we hop off?
Yes, if I could, when you mentioned the Zango, started on it, and the first thing I thought of when I tasted this tastes like pomegranate juice. Well, I like pomegranate juice, and it's a pleasant flavor. Some things that, well, this will make everything fine for you. Isogenics doesn't do that, but it tastes terrible. That's not the case. This tastes good. And you mentioned, Ron, is the anti-cancer properties of mangosteen has anti-cancer properties of chemotherapy, but chemotherapy is a poison.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's how it works. Mangosteen is not poison. So that's what I want to say.
It is so powerful. And Thank
Amazing.
you for speaking up on that. We're having it too. I mean, that bottle there is empty because we've had it all. So it is so good.
And I heard a variance of how much you should drink. And I heard on the one little clip, did you guys
Let
hear
me see
2
what
ounces? So, especially if you're doing a lot of the other things, right? You're already doing so many other things. So 2 ounces then would last you quite a bit. There's 25
Mhm.
ounces in, but if this was the only thing you're doing, like I think, Dana, how much are you drinking? Because this is your main thing right now. Are you doing 6 ounces a day, or how much are you doing?
I started with 2.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, that's what they said on
Yeah,
the,
yeah, 2 sounds like a starting point. If you've got things you're battling, whether it's arthritis or cancer or anything like that, I would do more, but.
yeah,
of course,
that's great.
And those,
Thank you for that recommendation. I don't know that I have any cancer, but there's a whole lot of it in my family.
Well, and I told him, his skin's been cracking and so on, so his fingers, and they're dry, and,
Great for a musician, by the way.
yeah, so I've told him the past few days to do the collagen, so he started that for the past few days, thinking that that should make a difference.
It should, definitely. I noticed my heels and stuff. I used to have to get a lot more of that, like when we have to get a pedicure and a lot more callousing. And I noticed that's a lot better on my heels, and the dryness has definitely helped. Has anyone else noticed dryness being helped from their collagen?
That was the first thing I noticed.
Yeah.
My hands, I felt like I had lotion on my hands.
isn't that amazing? It really is.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
well, thank you, everyone. And this was a great call, and we'll get those links up for you. The lookbook with it that Florence was talking
Yes.
about, where you could just flip through the pictures. That's a great place to start. That's telling stories, right? You can show the
If
pictures.
you're looking for an idea of something to post in the group, maybe tonight or tomorrow, you post something that you heard about on this call. And you just say, wow, if you're missing the team Zoom, this is what I learned yesterday.
Exactly.
All right.
Love it. So
All right, guys,
see you guys.
Stop the recording, so I'll stop.